Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome to a new video. So in this video I want to show you guys why and how the reindeer hat is useful, because it's now Christmas time and the Christmas event has been out for a few days. So if you haven't done the Christmas event, go ahead and do it. I would highly recommend that you do it. It takes you like 5 minutes or so. You get rares which you can sell. Well, they're not actually rares, they're quite commons, but they still sell for a little bit of money. But more importantly, you get the reindeer hat, and the reindeer hat is actually very useful for fishing and woodcutting mainly. I don't know if it has any other particular uses. I haven't heard about any others, but if you're fishing and woodcutting, it allows you to use 3-tick methods that will make it so you can catch fish or chop logs faster. Especially for woodcutting, there's not really any of the other straightforward methods of 3-ticking, so reindeer hat is really useful there. For fishing, sorry, you can cut and eat fish at barb, but if you're doing if you're in free to play or if you're level 3 or something and you're doing regular trout and salmon, then this is pretty much the only way to do it, other than like cooking your inventory and then 3-ticking by eating them. But unless you're like an Iron Man, then you'd want to just drop your fish. So I'm going to show you guys how you actually use the reindeer hat properly. There are a few different ways, I guess, for each method, but I'll show you guys how I use my reindeer hat for fishing and for woodcutting, so that you can be getting some good XP rates. It is click intensive, but even if you don't think that you'll use it, you should still do the Christmas event in case in the next year you happen to decide to go hard with the no XP waste or give it a try or something. So I feel like people hear about using it for fishing more, and it does make a bigger difference for fishing than for woodcutting, because normally fishing is 5 ticks and you can cut it down to 3 ticks, whereas normally woodcutting is 4 ticks and you can cut it down to 3 ticks. So both of them, it makes it faster, but fishing it makes it more faster. Yeah, English. But so anyway, so this is the most common way that you'll see people use the reindeer hat. This is how Trickle and Gangbino use their reindeer hats for fishing, because both of them do this method. Vestful does a different method using cutting and eating and the reindeer hat a little bit. You can check out his channel if you want to see exactly what he does. That is slightly faster than this. This is a lot more of like an even cycle. It's a bit more chilled out, and I kind of prefer it personally. That's what I did for a few mil of my 20 mil XP. Some of it was AFKing too, but I like to do this here and there. It is kind of fun. So the way that this cycle works basically is that you are paying attention to your chat box. So you catch 8 fish, or you do 8 fishing attempts. So you wait until your chat box fills up, and then you prance with your reindeer hat, and you have to do it in exactly the right timing. And that's one of the most difficult things to pick up with this, really, is getting the timing perfectly right. So after you catch that last fish, you don't want to reindeer hat like immediately after. You don't want to prance right afterwards. You do want to wait like a tick after you actually catch the fish right there. So you notice the way that I actually time it properly is if I have my screen sized this way, then the time when you want to prance is when the XP drop is like right next to your prayer orb, so not like as soon as it comes up. If you don't prance on this tick, then you'll miss a fish each cycle, because you catch 8 fish and then you catch 2 fish between the cycle when you're reprancing, and those ones will be 5-tick. And if you don't get that timing just right, then you only get 1 fish in between instead of 2, which drops your XP rate by like 5 to 10% per hour, which makes it kind of crap in comparison to what it can be. So when you're doing this properly at 99 fishing, it is possible to get like 95 to 100k XP per hour doing this. Vestful's method gets like 105 to 110 and is a lot more involved. I think 105 is the rate that he claims is, like sustainable. And you could get that rate with a reindeer hat, that's the thing. And there's a guy named BF5 who's a level 3 skiller, and he was the one who pioneered the woodcutting method that I use for reindeer hat, if I use reindeer hat for woodcutting. And you can prance sooner and try to avoid those 2 fish in between 5-ticking and try to get all of them 3-tick, or at least like 9 out of 10 3-tick or something. I think he actually made a video about that recently, so you can check that out. I haven't actually tried doing a cycle that way, but the nice thing about reindeer fishing this way is that it's still pretty damn high XP per hour, and it's not super intense. Once you get the timing down, it's like doable with just mouse keys, and it's pretty straightforward. But yeah, that's how you use a reindeer hat for fishing, and next I'll show you guys how I use it for woodcutting. So woodcutting is definitely more complicated, the cycle that you do, and I do want to give credit to BF5 once again. He's the one that I learned this method from. One of his videos taught me how to do this basically, and even then it took me a fair amount of time of just staring at exactly what he was doing and reading his description and stuff to actually figure out the timing properly, because it is pretty complicated. So I'll do my best to explain it. I'll link his video in the description, also in his channel if you guys want to check it out. He he's a very efficient skiller, and he has some pretty interesting developments and ideas on skilling, so definitely check him out. But anyways, so the way that you do woodcutting 3-ticking with the reindeer hat, if you want to be doing it as efficiently as possible, you have to be cutting and dropping all in the 3-tick cycle, because the way this cycle works, at least, there's no like free ticks, there's no time to catch 2 fish between each prance where you drop. And it is possible to drop logs while 3-ticking without losing XP, and ironically there's somebody with a chainsaw outside while I'm talking about woodcutting. Hopefully it's not too loud, but anyways, so the actual cycle is, you want to once again pay attention to the chat box. So you want to basically alternate between 6 and 7 logs each time, and the reason for this is because if you prance on the 6th log, then you can only do so if you've waited 1 tick after you spawned the snow, or otherwise it will be 1 tick too early and the snow won't spawn. But if you prance on the 6th tick when you've waited 1 tick after the snow spawns, then it will respawn without you losing any 3-ticking. So in 2 cycles you should only 4-tick like 1 log in total, which is a pretty good cycle, and that's about as good as it can possibly get. So the way that you achieve this is because every time if you prance on the 7th log, then you want to wait 1 tick after the snow spawns, because you'll get a log on the tick afterwards if the timing works out properly, which it should. So that makes the cycle work well, because you get the log on the tick that the snow spawns, so you wait 1 tick after the snow spawns until you actually start 3-ticking on it, and then so you do that on the 7th once, and then you do it on the 6th the next time. You keep alternating between those 2, and as long as you don't mess up, then you should be getting a really nice XP per hour. It's definitely difficult to explain, so I don't know if that made any sense to you guys, but try to pay attention to what I'm doing. Look at the chat box and see how I'm alternating between 6 and 7 logs. And if you, like, a lot of times I forget after doing this for a while whether the last one I did was on the 6th or the 7th, so if you want to play it safe, you can just always do it on the 7th. But you will lose a bit of XP per hour, and you might notice, I don't even know, I might have done that a few times in this video, because if I forget, I just default to the 7th. But to get the best XP per hour, you alternate between the 6th and the 7th logs that you catch, or that you chop. And the way that you tell is just by looking at how many you attempt to make some snowballs ... is in the chat box, in comparison to where the reindeer hat made snowfall message is. And like you'll notice for fishing, you wait until that message disappears from the chat box, put on your hat, and then prance. I'm not even bothering to try to do hat switches for woodcutting at this point. I might try to do that in the future, but you can do that if you have lumberjack. I do hat switches for fishing because it's pretty easy to do, but this is just a more involved method in general, so I haven't really bothered to try to do that yet. But anyway, so that's how you snow woodcut properly, I guess. So hopefully this video helps you guys out to get some good XP per hour. And you can use this method quite easily, just the same with willow logs if you're in free-to-play or something like that. So I probably will be doing that on my Ultimate Iron Man whenever I get around to actually woodcutting, which probably will be a while because I want to get a rune axe first. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out BF5. He's the one who taught me how to do this through his videos, so definitely he deserves some credit. But yeah, go ahead and get your reindeer hats. They're really, really useful. I definitely recommend it. It doesn't take too long to get them anyways, and at some point you'll probably use them. So thanks for watching the vid today. Hope you enjoyed. Feel free to drop a like, and I will see you all later.